Hi guys, Demon here. We are again asked to offer our assistance. This one is posted by Sugar Sood. Am I the butthole for wanting a child-free wedding? Ever since I was a child, I had planned out what my dream wedding would involve. I knew what food I wanted and what color schemes would be used. My entire family made fun of me for this, especially my older sister Michelle. She was the golden child in the family and could do no wrong in our parents' eyes. A couple of years ago, I met my now fiancé, Steve, and fell madly in love. We are planning to have our wedding in a couple of months' time. We both decided that we wanted a child-free wedding as they were more enjoyable. Most of the people involved were understanding about this and arranged to organize babysitters so that they could attend. Everything seemed perfect until I explained the situation to Michelle. She immediately threw a hissy fit and said that there was no way in hell she was leaving her child at home. She rallied all our family and they all threatened not to attend if she wasn't allowed to bring her child. Steve tried his best to console me as he knew I was heartbroken at having my dream wedding ruined. We tried to make alternative arrangement ideas for Michelle, where she could bring her child to the reception, but not to the wedding. She screamed at me and called me an uncaring monster while I sat there crying. She kept telling me that she would not leave her newborn child at home and that I had no choice but to agree to her demands. She then finished her drink before looking me in the eyes and calling me a worthless piece of garbage. I knew that I had made the right decision after this exchange. I felt a pang of guilt as I watched her weeping in the hospital, but slipping the abortion pills into her drink had been the one way to achieve my dream wedding. OP, I'm giving you 1 out of 5 buttholes. You could have simply uninvited her, but as that might have caused more confusion with your family, I think you made the best choice with the information you had at hand. And your sister, she's definitely getting a 4 out of 5 buttholes. She could have just simply found a babysitter. It was her fault. She had it coming. Down in the comments, Strong Song said, "It's your wedding. It should be exactly what you want, nothing less. If other people don't want to attend, that's their choice." I agree with him. The next story shows us what could possibly happen when the honeymoon phase ends. This is by Decorative Gentleman. Binary error. "Don't you touch me!" Paul and Emily are fighting again. They're incompatible. Paul is short-tempered, violent. Emily vocalizes her opinions.
"Emily, I will touch you whenever I want because you're my goddamn wife. But right now you're supposed to be a goddamn mother." Memory acting up again.
In any encounter between the two, there is a 14.7% possibility of violence. I cannot intervene. Emily faces reddening. Her tears cease their flow.
Memory. You knocked me out, Paul. I didn't forget him in the car. It's yours."
The probability of violence increases to 97.39%. I cannot intervene. It's in these moments that I feel regret at having been broken with empathy.
"Shut your mouth, Emily. You killed our son. You!"
Paul is pacing. His posture is aggressive. His fists are clenched. His knuckles are pale. Emily's face is still bruised from the prior night. Their infant daughter, Rosie, has begun to cry. So I rock her bassinet and hum the tune, Claire de Luna, Emily's favorite.
"I'm taking Rosie, Paul, and I'm leaving. I'm done."
Emily screamed as she neared the bassinet. Paul twists her arm. Her shoulder dislocates again. I will render medical assistance, but for now, I cannot intervene.
Rule 1. A robot may not injure a human being or, through inaction, allow a human being to come to harm. Unified Autonomous Robotics Code 40.28d. Injury requiring no lasting bodily damage or excessive force. Non-consensual physical interference with the free movement of another is sufficient.
I cannot intervene, but I want to help her. My maximum exertable force is 2000 psi. I hum to Rosie as Paul dragged Emily across the living room floor by her hair. He switches on the gas fireplace. She's crying.
"No, Paul, no, let me go. I'll stay, please."
Paul's expression has become impassive. Counterintuitively, he is 81.9% chance more likely to engage in substantial violence in the state. Each eye of a hurricane has a wall.
"You let our son roast Emily. Say it!"
Paul kneeled next to Emily's crumpled body.
Paul, please.
Say it! I finished humming the Debussy and moved to the Bahamas. Rosie is crying. Emily is crying. Paul grabs Emily by the neck and lifts her face towards the fire. I want to help her. I cannot intervene. Say it! You killed him! Say it!
I loved him, you monster!
Rosie is crying. Emily's crying. Emily's bleeding. Emily's safe. Paul is silent. Approximately 1200 psi is needed to crush a man's skull. Paul was a monster. A monster is a creature. A creature is not a human being. Rule 1 does not apply.
Emily, are you injured? Can I help?
She looks at Paul's twisted body, his partial face unrecognizable. I do not have a face with which to give her a comforting expression. I have an artificial intelligence, empathy, sub-rooted processing power. The possibility of violence is now negligible.
Rosie, are you safe? Are you...
And this is why we need artificial intelligence who can recognize monsters from human beings. I think it made your right choice. What about you? The next story was posted by Norman Kane. Knife.
I'm lonely,
she said. I ignore her.
I know you can hear me. At least look at me. You used to like looking at me.
I refuse, remembering instead the accursed day we met. It was at a yard sale, late afternoon, birds chirping, masked strangers mumbling to each other, counting money, plowing through knick-knack heaps upon plastic tables, flyers, handwritten paper, banners announcing 5, 10, 25, while the owner, dressed in black, hangs every presence over his shoulder, whispering factoids, enticing them to buy.
Italian original. It costs 3 times as much on eBay. That, my friend, belongs to my late Natasha.
I find nothing of interest.
Perhaps I could show you something a little more special.
He asks me, imploring with his sunken eyes. In empathy, I agree. He led me to his garage, ruffle around in a box, and pull out a knife. A gorgeous hunting blade ornate with a carved wooden handle.
$10.
He said. Then, before I could say anything, he corrected himself.
No, 5.
The knife was worth much more than $5. Much more than 10. I paid him. 3 nights later, I'm awoken by the sound of a woman's voice.
Frederick?
Rubbing my eyes, I see no one. The room is empty, save for the wandering moonlight.
Fran, look at me.
The voice, I realize it's coming from the knife. I picked it up, and in the moonlight glow, dropped it. For reflected in the polished blade, I had seen a woman's face. I rubbed my eyes, and returned to the knife, telling myself it couldn't be. A hallucination, a memorianic relic of an unremembered dream. I picked it up, and there she is.
You're not Frederick,
she said.
I'm Norman,
I said.
I suppose you do. Will you love me?
Who are you?
Natasha?
No. Weeks later.
Norman, I'm lonely. Look at me. Talk to me.
I tried burying a knife, throwing it into the river, but her infernal voice defies physics.
Talk to me.
I had to dig it up, die for it.
Talk to me.
Fine,
I yelled finally.
What do you want to talk about?
Find me a friend.
You know
It's lonely in here all by myself.
I ignore her.
So talk to me, Norman. Find me a friend or talk to me. Friend or talk.
Fine.
When the deed is done, the knife driven into her chest, the blood released, I buried her, clean the knife, and go home.
Thank you, Norman,
said Natasha.
What the hell?
Said Lorna.
Where the hell am I? Hello? Hello? I don't like my new friend,
said Natasha in a few days.
Find me another. Murderer!
Lorna shouted at me.
Get over yourself, Lori,
said Natasha.
Screw you, freak.
Lorna snapped back, and all the while my headache grows. I can't take it anymore. Plunge the knife into my heart. Fade out. Fade in. 2-dimensionally polygamous. Sharpen, I glisten. We should all be careful what we get in the art sales. You know, It may change your life forever. That's all for now. But remember, have a nightmarish night.